Test. I am tired. I'm just testing. Test. The internet can totally see you now. Okay. The current resolution. How do I change video resolution though? Honestly, I'm so sorry. I don't know. Okay. Um. Oh yeah, I forgot to reduce bitrate. Hold on. Oh my gosh. Yeah, go back to 2500. Oops, that's too much. Then wonder if it. Anyways, oh hi guys. So it's very late here. It's 1 a.m. And I have a presentation tomorrow. About emotional intelligence, fact or fad, and I put it off to the very last minute because there was so much to like read, and I was also kind of like struggling with my own research stuff. So, yeah. This stream will just be me reading articles, and I have about 3 articles, two of which have 15 pages and the other has 35 pages. So, and um uh I'm gonna what was I saying? Sorry. I'm gonna challenge myself and read everything. So, if video output is low, all you have to do is really listen to what I'm gonna say, because that's all that matters, to be honest. Because yeah, I've kind of given up figuring how to make the video resolution better. At this point, I think it's just my internet does not have like the proper bandwidth for it. So that sucks, but I'll try to read as clearly as possible. So, I'm gonna talk about emotional intelligence. So, what I'm currently showing you is a picture of a screenshot of Wikipedia of emotional intelligence. So, as you can see, my decision to stream this is very impromptu. So, I did not prepare everything beforehand. I'll put in references later and stuff, but for now, I'm just gonna read you like the basics of emotional intelligence, and I think Wikipedia has like summarized it perfectly, not perfectly lah, like well. So emotional intelligence, emotional leadership, emotional quotient, and emotional intelligence quotient is the capability of individuals to recognize their own emotions and those of others, discern between different feelings and label them appropriately, use emotional information to guide thinking and behavior, and manage or adjust emotions to adapt to environments or achieve one's goals. Although the term first appeared in a 1964 paper by Michael Belduck, I don't know. It gained popularity in a 1995 book by that title, written by author and science journalist Daniel Goleman. Since this time, EI and Goleman, EI here is emotional intelligence, and Goleman's 1995 analysis have been criticized within the scientific community despite prolific reports of its usefulness in the popular press. So, empathy is typically associated with EI because it relates to an individual connecting their personal experiences with those of others. However, a number of models that exist that aim to measure levels of empathy. There are levels of EI. There are currently several models of EI. Goleman's original model may now be considered a mixed model that combines what has since been modeled separately as ability EI and trait EI. Goleman defined EI as the array of skills and characteristics that drive leadership performance. The trait model was developed by Konstantinos V. Petritz in 2001. It encompasses behavioral dispositions and self-perceived abilities and is measured through self-report. The ability model, developed by Peter Salovey and John Mayer in 2004, focuses on the individual's ability to process emotional information and use it to navigate the social environment. Studies have shown that people with high EI have greater mental health, job performance, and leadership skills, although no causal relationships have been shown, and such findings are likely to be attributable to general intelligence and specific personality traits rather than in emotional intelligence as a construct. For example, Goldman indicated that EI accounted for 67% of the abilities deemed necessary for superior performance in leaders and mattered twice as much as technical expertise or IQ. So I think this is like one of the main points of the debate, in which EQ is actually better than IQ, or like a good substitute for IQ. Okay, and then other research finds that the effect of EI on leadership and managerial performance is non-significant when ability and personality are controlled for, and that general intelligence correlates very closely with leadership. Markers of EI and methods of developing it have become more widely coveted in the past decade. In addition, studies have begun to provide evidence to help characterize the neural mechanisms of emotional intelligence. Criticisms have centered on whether EI is a real intelligence and whether it has incremental validity over IQ and the Big Five personality traits. Okay, so I don't know. I'm not gonna be doing a lot of summarizing, I guess, because I'll be honest, I'm tired. Oh, this week has been rough. But it's almost over. Tomorrow will be the last one. So that's that. I just need to get through this and I'll be fine. So, okay. So, let's move to the first paper today that I will read. I'm trying to read it according to like chronology. So this first paper is in 2002. So the title is Relation of an Ability Measure of Emotional Intelligence to Personality. So by Caruso, Mayer, and Salovey. Oh, hold on. Is this the original paper? No, I don't think so. It was 1990. Okay, anyway. So is emotional intelligence simply a naive theory of personality, or is it a form of intelligence? If emotional intelligence is to be of value, from onwards, I will say emotional intelligence as EI, because that is so much words to say. So, if EI is to be of value, it must measure something unique and distinct from standard personality traits. To explore this question, this study examined an ability test of emotional intelligence and its relationship to personality test variables to determine the extent to which these constructs overlap. A sample of 183 men and women took the multi-factor emotional intelligence scale by Mayer, Caruso, and Salovey in 1989, an ability measure of emotional intelligence as well as measures of career interests, personality, and social behavior. Emotional intelligence was measured reliably and was relatively independent of traditionally defined personality traits, supporting the discriminant validity of the emotional intelligence construct. I keep saying emotional intelligence, if I say I'll say EI. My brain is just that tired. I'm just reading, like I'm just going through the assembled phonological recording whatever of how I process language. I don't know if I'm even processing all these words. Also, I am thirsty. I gotta get some water. I don't know why I didn't drink before, so I'm gonna go drink. So I'll be back. I know it's super early, but I'll be back. You know what would be good right now? Ay tabu sedap gila. Oh my god. Anyways, let's continue reading. Because I'm an adult and I have to do work. And anyways, this is work. So the ability model of EI centers on a person's skill in recognizing emotional information and carrying out abstract reasoning using this emotional information. More specifically, emotional intelligence involves the abilities to perceive, appraise, and express emotion, to access and or generate feelings when they facilitate thought. To understand emotion and emotional knowledge, and to regulate emotions to promote emotional and intellectual growth. The definition posits 4 different abilities or skill, which Mayer and Salovey referred to as branches. The first branch of the ability model is identifying emotions. Hey, oh my gosh, this is all in my textbook. I didn't even read this, so that's cool. I have to actually read this. Okay. This branch includes a number of skills, such as the ability to identify feelings, express emotions accurately, and differentiate between real and phony emotional expressions. The second branch, emotional facilitation of thought or using emotions, includes the ability to use emotions to redirect attention to important events, to generate emotions that facilitate decision making, to use mood swings as a means to consider multiple points of view, and harness different informations to encourage different approaches to problem solving. For instance, to use a happy mood to assist in generating creative new ideas. The third branch, understanding emotions, is the ability to understand complex emotions and emotional chains. I feel like I just say emotions a lot. Hold on. How many branches? One. What's the first one? Identifying emotion. Second one is using emotions. Third one is understanding emotions. So how emotions transition from one stage to another, the ability to recognize the causes of emotions, and the ability to understand relationship among emotions. The fourth branch of the ability model is managing emotions. Managing emotions includes the ability to stay aware of one's emotions, even those that are unpleasant, the ability to determine whether an emotion is clear or typical, and the ability to solve emotion-laden problems without necessarily suppressing negative emotions. Empirical evidence supporting the 4-branch model is reported elsewhere. For many lay people and scientists alike, EI was defined in a popular book by Goleman, who based his work on the initial Salovey and Mayer definition, but added components such as zeal, persistence, and social skills. The result of this popularization is that there is a broad range of approaches to the subject, from the Mayer-Salovey ability-based conception to lists of competencies, to approaches... Oh shoot, my butter is not running low. Hold on. To approaches centering on psychological well-being. In an attempt to understand better the disparate approaches, we propose 2 alternative conceptions of EI, an ability model and a mixed model. Ability models place EI within the sphere of an intelligence, in which emotion and thought interact in meaningful and adaptive ways. And EI is viewed much like verbal or spatial intelligence, except that it operates on and with emotional content. Mixed models blend various aspects of personality in what is often an a-theoretical manner. The resulting conglomerate of traits, dispositions, skills, competencies, and abilities is labeled EI, even though the model predominantly involves neither emotion nor intelligence. Okay, these different models have also given rise to different ways to measure EI. Mixed models have been operationalized in self-report measures or observer ratings such as 360-degree assessments. The ability-based approach has also seen the development of self-report measures. Although we still view such skills as having value, we believe the ability of or performance tests of emotional intelligence most directly operationalize the construct as an intelligence by asking test takers to solve problems about and using emotions. We developed a multitask ability measure of emotional intelligence, the multi-factor emotional intelligence scale, MAISE. That's how I'm going to call it, maze. Based on the 4-branch ability model of EI, the maze includes tasks such as judging the emotions in faces and designs, generating and then reasoning with an emotion, defining complex emotion terms, and selecting an optimal emotional decision-making strategy. Okay, so this I feel like I just took this today. While I was looking into the topic, I found a 145 question test of emotional intelligence that have exactly all of these tasks that they just said. And I gotta say, I only scored 63. I thought I was better at it, to be honest. I only scored 63. I'm not very emotionally intelligent, it seems, which, okay, is kind of true, but yeah, whatever. Anyways, like, it doesn't give you a full score. Like, you actually have to buy in stuff to like get the full assessment, but like, whatever. Anyways, some researchers have cast a critical eye toward the emotional intelligence field, aiming to tease out the fad from the science. The key issues appear to be whether whether EI can be operationalized, B, whether reliable emotional intelligence tests can be constructed, there's time until E. Okay. C, whether emotional intelligence is the new construct and can be differentiated from existing personality trait models. D, what EI predicts and the level of such prediction. And E, how to determine correct answers for such tests. Okay, you lost me at C. Okay, whether it can be operationalized, if it's reliable, if the tests are reliable. Honestly, I feel like it is reliable, but it does feel kind of not abstract for sure. Like, the test feels like you only have one right answer, and I don't know. It's like, I don't think emotions, I mean, sure, it can only be, I guess I guess there can be a right answer about emotions, isn't it? But I mean, it is what the person is feeling, not like what we perceive the person is feeling. Yeah, anyways. This study seeks to address some of these issues by examining the reliability of the maze, its relationship to commonly measured personality traits, discriminant validity, and its relationship to certain self-reported behaviors, convergent validity. The operationalization of the concept and determination of objectively scored answers have been addressed elsewhere. Or have it. Method. Oh, wait. I thought this was a literature review. Guess not. Hold on. Whoa, so much skip frames, but it doesn't matter, you guys. It doesn't matter if the frame skipped, because what you need to hear is just my voice. And I feel like this works when you have to go to sleep, but you want to like learn at the same time. So like, just play this while you're sleeping, and hopefully my voice is more than boring enough to help you go to sleep. Okay, I'll try not to make it too exciting. Whoa! Anyways, participants were 52 male and 128 female. University of New Hampshire undergraduates participating in the experiment as part of an introductory psychology course requirement. Almost all were. I'm not gonna read all of that. I'm gonna read materials. MAZE is a paper and pencil ability-based measure. The usual. 4 subscores correspond to each of the 4 branches of the Meyer and Salovey model of EI, and 12 scores for individual subtests. The first branch was operationalized in 4 subtests, each of which required test taker to accurately identify emotions in faces, designs, music, or brief stories. Branch 2 was measured by 2 subtests, synesthesia, I don't know. I don't know if it's a typo or what. It's SYNETHESIA, which I think is an incorrect spelling of synesthesia. But then now I feel like it's a name because synesthesia asked the test taker to imagine a situation in which they felt a certain emotion and then to describe it in non-emotional language. So this is just how the studies are being conducted. All subtests were scored using consensus method, which was based on a sample of 503 adult participants. Boring stuff. I mean, this is important, but I for now, I just want to know like what you get from it. I don't have time for that. To examine the relationship of EI to social behavior, participants completed the fundamental interpersonal relations orientation behavior, FIRO B, SHUTS. Okay. It consists of 54 items and examines two aspects of 3 dimensions of social and interpersonal needs. The 2 aspects are expressed behavior, how a person behaves or acts towards others, and wanted needs, how a person desires to be treated by others. The whole procedure. Never mind. I'll just get this over with. The study was conducted over 2 experimental sessions. Session 1, participants should receive a test package, consent form, and research material indicate demographics. Participants proceeded to do the MEIS, and then they did the STS and FIRO B. There were a lot of stuff. So results: the means and standard deviation for the total maze. Blah 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 blah. Can you just summarize for me? I'm sorry, this is not good research behavior, but to be honest, this even now statistics of all these people just kind of fly right through me. It's a bit much to kind of sit down and figure it out. I'm sure I can if I sit down and figure it out, but oh my gosh, to actually sit down and figure it out is, oh my god. Okay. So we're at discussion because I can't be bothered to read the results because it has a lot of jargon and I just don't understand that. But we're at page 11 of 16, so we're almost done with our first paper. If all goes well, I might actually get to sleep before my presentation at 9, of which I don't even have a script to do yet because I'm still gathering materials. Oh my god. I swear, like, I guess I mean, it's hard to do stuff when I'm not interested in it. Like, I don't know how other people do it. My siblings can do it really well, except for my youngest brother, which is why their grades are all well-rounded. But with me, I always score like really good at what I really like English, or in subjects that I get like good guidance on. And like in school, that was at math because my teacher was really, really great. Like, oh my god, she's the best. She made math awesome, which I don't think was possible until up to that point. Like, I was like almost always failing before her, and she just has that magic touch, and I'm like, whoa. But then school ended and I went to another school. By school I mean degree, and I just sucked back at maths, as you can see. Anyways, I am digressing. Anyway, discussion. The maze demonstrates adequate internal consistency. The full-scale maze alpha is comparable to the average reliability coefficients reported for the Wechsler Adult Intelligence Scales, WISE, appropriately acronymed. At the level of 12 individual tasks, reliability ranged from a low of 0.31 to a high of 8.87. Some of these reliability scores are certainly lower than what one desires an ability test. For a comparison, subtests of the WISE 3 range from 0.7 to 0.93. Although Davies expressed concern about the low reliability of the emotion perception task employed in their study, we found the branch 1 or emotion perception task of the maze to have reasonably high reliability. In part, this is likely due to the fact that these tasks consisted of many items, up to 60. You think? Like, okay. I mean, I've taken some inventories, but this one is just a lot, man. Anyways, May's tasks with the lowest reliability were from the understanding emotions branch, and these two tasks had the fewest items. Okay? Yeah, because there were too much. I mean, they take too long, I think. Anyways, although the alphas for some of these tasks are too low for clinical use, more reliable tasks could be developed simply by adding more items to the task. Okay. For example, if we wish to create a blends task with an alpha of 0.8, the Spearman-Brown formula suggests that we could do so if we increase the number of items from 8 to 71. What the hell? I'm sorry. That's too much. I don't know. Don't you think, what? If that's only one branch, there's like 4 branches. The branch 1 has like 60 items, and then branch 2 has like 71. Okay, hold on. Let me just read this more. That's the issue of reliability for ability tests or emotional intelligence appears to be practical, as well as an applied issue. The practical issue is developing item types that result in a more reliable task. If this proves to be difficult, the applied issue becomes whether one would find a 71 item subtest too long for test takers to complete. You think? Alternatively, one could only report reliable scores. Okay, whatever. Only one item, man. Oh my god. Anyways. The test-retest correlations for the branch scores of the maze are positive and significant, ranging from 0.6 to 0.68, albeit somewhat lower than what is expected for an ability measure. By comparison, the WISE 3 has test-retest reliability ranging from 0.83 for the performance IQ score to 0.91 for both verbal and full-scale IQ. At the level of individual maze tasks, test-retest reliability varied from 0.37 to 0.60. Comparable data for WISE 3's 14 subtests. I don't really understand this test-retest reliability stuff though, so I'm gonna skip it. Another difference between the maze and ability measures of intelligence is the absence. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's so much skipped frames. I don't understand, but okay. Okay, man. Oh my god. I actually have one more article. I don't know if I'm going to read it though. However, practice effects are expected only when the correct answer becomes clear during item administration, in which feedback is provided. For instance, when a person is asked to put pieces of a puzzle together, performance will likely be enhanced the second time they complete the same puzzle, as participants are more likely to recognize what it is they're putting together. In contrast, completion of the maze items would not be expected to enhance a person's performance, and memory for answers after 2 weeks is likely rather low. In this study, EI was separable from several standard personality traits. The correlation on factor analytic data strongly suggests that the maze is not measuring constructs that are assessed by standard personality tests such as the 16BF, although other models of emotional intelligence and their corresponding measures appear to be based on a general personality approach. The ability approach places emotional intelligence in an ability or intelligence framework. Therefore, the claim that little remains of emotional intelligence after controlling for personality contract appears to be a matter of which emotional intelligence one is referring to, an ability-based model or a trait-based model. Although it is critical to demonstrate that EI defined and measures an ability can be measured reliably and can be differentiated from other constructs, it is also important to address what it predicts. EI may play some role in career choice. Correlation between branch 2 facilitating thoughts and helping careers resolve interest, as the ability to generate a feeling and reason with it may in part underlie empathic ability. Another interesting finding was the negative correlation between enterprising or business interests and overall emotional intelligence, in combination with the lack of relationship between express control and the maze, indicating no statistically significant relationship between emotional intelligence and the desire to lead. It may be that those attracted to some standard business related occupations may be somewhat lower in emotional intelligence. It is important to recognize that these data do not address leadership or business effectiveness or success, just desires and preferences. In addition, emotional intelligence was related to a self-report measure of social behavior and social needs. More emotionally intelligent people desire greater social involvement, both in a general sense as well as in terms of intimate relationships. Although claims that EI can be as powerful and at times more powerful than IQ have been made, little evidence will ever be collected to support such a claim. Instead, EI should be viewed as broadening our understanding of human mental abilities. We expect EI to contribute at some reasonable level of prediction of certain outcomes, but at levels that are typically obtained in such research. Research is needed on the relation of emotional intelligence to actual behavior, as opposed to self-reported behavior. We must determine how we can utilize such objective measures in assessing the emotional abilities of clients. First, this will be interesting to determine whether a client's actual emotional abilities relate to their diagnosis, as well as to their prognosis and therapy. Is it possible to identify a specific emotional deficit or strength in emotional perception, emotional facilitation, emotional understanding, or emotional management that can become the focus of a treatment plan? We hope researchers will now turn their attention to answering such questions. So, guys, what have we learned from that? I'll be honest, I'm gonna say I don't know. It seems a bit unreliable, the scale that they use, maze. Some of it seems to have too much item, another too little. And they said to increase like accuracy, I guess, needs like a lot. So I don't know, you guys. What do you think? Anyways, so let's move on to another. Yeah, let's move on to another paper. So I'm gonna try and see if I can change it to this one. I think this one has a lot more though. Hold on. I don't know if I'm gonna read this though. Oh, by the way, the paper that I just read was by people who definitely support emotional intelligence, and the next paper that I'm gonna read is also by people who support emotional intelligence, and I think actually kind of made it popular. So okay, so I'm gonna change and I'm gonna show you my browser, which I shouldn't, but I'm going to anyways, because I don't know. I don't know why I'm doing this, but there it is. There you go. That's my browser. Okay, emotional intelligence, issues and common misunderstandings. In this article, I'll put this in the description since I can. Oops, but not now, since you'll see what's here and I don't want to show you. So, in this article, we seek to raise issues and air questions that have arisen along with the growing interest in EI. We hope to catalyze a dialogue among all those with serious interest in the area to surface hidden assumptions, correct mistaken impression, survey a range of opinions. Such open dialogue, we believe, can pay off to the degree it strengthens the research and thinking that are foundation to the field, both in theory and in application. The influence of EI, popular culture, and the academic community has been rapid and widespread. Do you know why? So my textbook said that the one who popularized this, Daniel Goleman, actually gave his book, copies of his book, to the top executives, to the, sorry, hold on. Okay, in March, this is what my book says. In March 2000, Daniel Goleman published an article, Leadership That Gets Results, in the Harvard Business Review. When the chief executive officer, the highest ranking officer of a company, oh, that's what a CEO is, you guys, in case you didn't know, of the leading worldwide pharmaceutical company read the article. He sent copies of it to the 400 top executives in the company. The article described the theory of emotional intelligence. So, there you go. You just need like one good publish, and then one good one important person to read, and then you've basically done it. Yeah, you popularize something. Anyways, the influence of EI, popular culture, and the community has been rapid and widespread. While this has stimulated a surprising number of research initiatives across a wide range of domains within psychology, the swiftness with which the concept of EI has caught on perhaps inevitably created a gap between what we know and what we need to know. Understandably, this has led to a great deal of controversy and debate among researchers and practitioners eager to understand and apply the principles associated with EI. Such debate, of course, not confined to EI, but is an inherent part of blah blah blah. Research and theory emotions has waxed and waned over the history of psychology. The behavior resolution inspired by B.F. Skinner and the subsequent cognitive resolution saw interest in emotions seriously undermined. However, beginning in the 1980s and accelerating into the present, interest in emotions has enjoyed a robust resurgence across a wide range of subdisciplines within psychology. While such research continues to expand our knowledge of it, this is a lot of waffling. Get to the point, man. It's like to raise important questions and issues of the field. The question of interest include what is EI? How is it different from other established constructs within psychology? Is it possible to develop EI? Is EI a better predictor of work performance than traditional measures of intelligence? Or more precisely, which kinds of work performance does EI predict most strongly? Should EI be measured at all? Finally, what is the relationship between ethics and EI? I don't think that's important to know, the ethics one. But, I mean, for this topic, all of these are legitimate questions, and each has been raised by many voices in the field. In this article, we seek to add to the ongoing dialogue by clarifying our own position and helping to differentiate and sharpen the issues. We also seek to address some common claims about EI that may foster consequential, even unfortunate misunderstandings. Okay, to be honest, right now, where I stand is I think that EI is a thing. It's not a very well developed thing for sure, but but I really don't think it's a fad. It is a fact. If you say a fact or fad, I think it's a fact. It's just not a very well developed fact, I guess. It's still developing, whereas IQ has been in the works since super long ago. Even before the 1900s, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I might be wrong. So the big claims that EI could be more than IQ is a bit much. And more empirical evidence is needed, and really that's about it. So what I'm currently doing is trying to find evidences that kind of explains why I feel like this, but honestly I myself don't know why I feel like this. So I don't know. So I'm trying to find papers that tells me why EI is a thing, but so far I'm not very convinced, to be honest. It seems like, I mean, evidence is a big thing, you know. Like, if you have evidence, it's basically like everything else people say. It's just kind of like, those are just words. These are like real hard evidence, you know. It's kind of hard. Why did I pick this topic? I bet the heart faster, but anyways. Okay, I'm just gonna drag the time. I'm really sleepy. I still haven't written anything, and I did hope to finish this stream by 3 o'clock, or 10 if in Malaysia time. Anyways, as Kuhn notes, scientists' efforts to deal with data in a systematic fashion guided by deeply held theories lead to the formation of distinct research paradigms. Each of these paradigms has its own unique history, methods, and assumptions. This is a lot of waffling, I'm just saying. According to Kuhn, such a scientific paradigm becomes an object for further articulation and specification under new and more stringent conditions. Once models and paradigms have been articulated, the science of scientific vigor includes the current debates and vigorous research efforts in the area of EI suggest just the state of affairs. By Kuhn's criteria, the EI paradigm would seem to have reached a state of scientific maturity. Really? That fast? As paradigms mature, specific theories within the paradigm begin to emerge and differentiate, as has occurred since the first formal formulation of an EI theory by Salovey and John Mayer in 1990. All these new variations on their theme, like the original theory, must be held to Karl Popper's test. A new theory can be justified if it has the potential to explain things that other theories cannot, or if it has the potential to explain things better than other competing theories. Any new theory must lead to testable hypotheses which will allow it to be compared with other theories, with the goal of determining whether the theory would constitute a scientific advance should it survive in light of research aimed at testing its specific hypotheses. Moreover, if such a theory is able to withstand rigorous tests of its validity, the question then becomes one of application. Can such a theory be applied without giving rise to inconsistencies? Will such a theory help us to achieve some useful work, but is such a theory really needed at all? I mean, that's fair. I don't know if that's like quote for quote off the paper, but it seems like it. I don't know if this is a good paper, you guys. If a theory can pass these crucial tests, then the theory can be compared with other competing theories to see if the current theory represents a replacement or essential theories currently used. Yeah. Predictive validity. Perhaps central to the current interest in EI is its potential utility in predicting a range of criteria across disparate populations. As with claims associated with traditional intelligence, the predictability of EI will likely vary widely depending on the context, criterion of interest, and specific theory used. Traditional measures of intelligence, although providing some degree of predictive validity, have not been able to account for a large portion of the variance in work performance and career success. As Goldman states, when IQ test scores are correlated with how well people perform in their careers, the highest estimate of how much difference IQ accounts for is about 25%. Really? A careful analysis, though, suggests a more accurate figure may be no higher than 10%. What? Really? That's not what other people have been telling me. These are still significant correlations even at the low end of the estimates. And there is no doubt that IQ will remain a significant predictor of work success, especially in predicting which job, profession, or career path a person can follow. In a recent meta-analysis examining the correlation predictability of EI when compared to IQ or general mental ability, Van Roy and Viswasvaran in Press found IQ to be a better predictor of work and academic performance than EI. However, when it comes to the question of whether a person will become a star performer within that role or be an outstanding leader, IQ may be a less powerful predictor than emotional intelligence. Okay. While social scientists are mainly interested in the main predictive relationship between IQ and work success, practitioners and those who must make decisions on hiring and promotion within organizations are understandably far more interested in assessing capabilities related to outstanding performance and leadership. There's been virtually no quantitative social science research on top leaders. Okay. However, in part because of the taboo noted by the anthropologist Laura Nader against studying up the power structure, CEOs and others who hold power are resistant to allowing themselves to be assessed by objective measures. Oh, really? Qualitative research, however, suggests that IQ measures fail to account for large portions of the variance related to performance and career success, especially among top managers and senior leaders. There has, however, been a much larger body of research on top performance, which suggests that IQ alone does not predict in this domain, as well as competencies that integrate cognitive, emotional, and social abilities. However, the issue of separating abilities related to cognitive intelligence from abilities Traits and competencies related to emotional intelligence remains a complex one. All definitions of emotional intelligence represent a combination of cognitive and emotional abilities. This reflects the growing understanding in neuroscience that cognition and emotion are interwoven in mental life through thick connections between the emotional centers and the neocortex rather than discretely independent, especially in complex decision making, self awareness, blah 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 blah. IQ, however, appears to represent a more pure case from the neuroscience perspective, since the brain region it draws on are localized in the neocortex and can function relatively well on the items in IQ test, even when lesions isolate the structures from emotional centers. The failure of IQ to predict a large portion of the variance in the performance among managers may be attributable to range restriction on the variable of IQ among managers and senior executives. To assume a position of leadership in today's workplace often requires that an individual demonstrate at least average and more often above average intelligence that leadership wait hold on oh where was I above average intelligence. Leadership requires a high level of cognitive ability in order to process the hold on okay, I'll link this in the in the description. No worries, okay? Honestly, I can't. I just can't. It's like this guy is just putting down IQ, you know? Oh, okay, hold on. I see something good. While the assessment of constructs within the emotional intelligence paradigm has shown significant utility and predictive validity, in applied settings, claims of the relative importance of EI compared to traditional forms of intelligence needs further empirical investigation. Yeah, to better determine the relative contribution of each in the prediction of specific criterion. While IQ should remain an important predictor of the types of vocations a given individual can assume, once within that vocation, the predictability of IQ would seem to diminish significantly. Wait, what? Okay, the notion of IQ as a threshold competence is an important distinction and one that has often been overlooked or downplayed by many theories as well as in the popular media. The excitement generated in the popular media has often left the impression that high EI might somehow compensate for low IQ and allow those with below average IQ, but high emotional intelligence to thrive in spite of below average intelligence, in essence giving the false impression that IQ matters little. While we agree that IQ is clearly an important construct, we join other theories who argue that by expanding our definition of intelligence, we obtain a more realistic and valid assessment of factors that lead to personal effectiveness and adaptation. To the degree that popular scientific interest in emotional intelligence has begun to challenge long-held assumptions of what leads to success in life, the EI paradigm and those working in it have helped to bring a more balanced view of the role of what? Oh, I think they're just saying that even though IQ is important, EI is also important. Okay. While research on EI has progressed significantly since its assumption, more research will be needed to further validate claims of the relative importance that traditional intelligence and EI hold to the prediction of specific criterion. Longitudinal research looking at the relative contribution of IQ and specific theoretical constructs within the EI paradigm would help better clarify the relative importance of each as it relates to specific criterion, such as work performance over an individual's career. Such direct comparisons between IQ and EI would be a welcome addition to the growing literature. Okay. What now? I'm sorry. I'm just kind of mad at myself. I chose this topic because it had something to do with like what I'm studying, which is empathy. And emotional intelligence is basically like how well you are at empathizing, I guess. Part of it, which is what I thought originally. But now it's like, oh my gosh, I hate the topic of intelligence. I don't like talking about it. because I feel like um people everyone is smart, like and I don't think we should go beyond that. Why do we need to quantify these stuff? Okay, I don't know. I mean, I know why, but like in in children, sure, to measure their developmental um benchmark and stuff, but in adults, I don't know. I mean, in typically developing adults, it's just I don't know. I don't really like the neurotypical research stuff. Like every time I read about something that's about neurotypicals, which is a lot, there are a lot of research, which I get is important. It's like the benchmark to study what is not neurotypical, what is atypical, but I don't know. Like I'd always go into it like, oh, okay. So what does that mean for the neuro atypicals then? Like I'm more interested in that. Like, okay, so this is how normal people. So they would like in like they would tell us this is how normal people behave and why they do so, and then I would always be thinking of like, okay, so would a person with this and this be behaving like that too, or what? Like, I just kind of want to map everything about um people with autism, I guess, or other kinds of mental illnesses. Sorry, mental disorders. I'm too tired to be PC. I'm sorry. um, I mean, for now, I'm most interested in autism. Like, I feel like I can just develop everything. I mean, devote everything to autism. As compared to like other disorders in psychopathology, like, what was it? Depression, bipolar, and stuff like that. Those things kind of depresses me, so I don't really want to um study it, to be honest, because I feel like I might have those and I don't want to deal with it. Whereas with autism, where I might also have that, it doesn't feel as negative as the other two. Like, you know, and a lot of it are stories that, despite all of the hurdles, they still succeed. And I just want to follow that. I mean, I'm not saying like people with depression and bipolar disorder do not succeed, but I don't know. I'm too tired to think. I think I'm done with this paper. I don't think this paper is all that good, to be honest. There's a lot of waffling, and I don't know. I mean, to be honest, I don't know what makes a good paper. But yeah, whatever. I'm gonna change. Oh my god, I have so much skip frames. Like every 2 minutes. I'm sorry. That's all I can say. Wow, more skip frames. Okay, I think it's because I'm using Chrome, and I don't actually like Chrome. It takes so much of my CPU usage. It's horrible. But my Firefox is being weird, where I can't really watch YouTube, and YouTube is basically my livelihood now. So I'm just gonna change input to another thing. I'm sorry for the blackness. Hold on. Okay, I think so. I think this is a more unbiased, hopefully. I don't know. Okay, let's just read the abstract for a bit. This is 15 pages. It's just 30 minutes of reading. And I think I'll finish with this one, because the other one is like um models about it. I'll read it on my own. This one, this is the last one. Okay, I don't want to seem like I'm drunk or something. Okay, the science of emotional intelligence, current consensus and controversies. Okay, so sorry, that was me yawning. Anyways, hold on. I'm just checking that you can see it well. Probably can. Uh, oh, wait, this one. There. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, at the start I had like one view, one viewer, and then because it's so boring, I think they ran out. So that's fine. I like talking to myself with no one watching. It's just me. Anyways, this is why people run away from me. Anyways, okay, abstract. Almost from its inception, the EI construct has been an elusive one. After nearly 2 decades of research, there still appears to be little consensus over how EI should be conceptualized or assessed and the efficacy of practical applications in real life settings. This paper aims at providing a snapshot of the state of the art in research involving this newly minted construct. Specifically, in separate sections of this article, we set out to distinguish what is known from what is unknown in relation to three paramount concepts of EI research: conceptualization, assessment, and application. In these sections, we start by discussing assertions that may be made with some degree of confidence, elucidating what are essentially sources of consensus concerning EI. We move then to discuss sources of controversy, those things for which there is less agreement among EI researchers. We hope that this straight talk about the current status of EI research will provide a platform for new research in both basic and applied domains. Okay. Over the past 17 years or so, EI has emerged as one of the most visible and high profile constructs in individual differences research. Broadly defined, EI represents a set of competencies for identifying, processing, and managing emotion. Research into AI has prospered in part because of the increasing importance of intelligence for people in modern society. It has also been claimed that AI predicts clinical, educational, and occupational criteria above and beyond that predicted by general intelligence. However, despite a high level of public and scientific interest, the science of AI is in its early years, with many issues still being debated and currently questions remaining unanswered. As the field matures, it has become increasingly commonplace for academic psychologists to reject early, overstated claims that made in popular works about the importance of EI. Goldman, for example, claimed EI may be as important as IQ in determining life successes. Such claims have mainly been disconfirmed by the decade of rigorous empirical research that has followed. Decisively, Van Roy and Viswasvaran meta-analysis showed that after correcting for statistical artifacts, the average correlation between EI and work performance was modest. Notwithstanding, research on EI goes back to entirely respectable and sober research on social abilities and competencies pursued by a line of distinguished intelligence researchers, Landy 2006. Contemporary researchers have also made a persuasive case that EI measures adds something new to a conventional understanding of human individual differences. There are now several hundred peer-reviewed articles that deal with key issues including models of EI, assessment of EI, personality and cognitive ability correlates of EI, validation of tests of EI against measures of social functioning, adaptation, and application in real-life setting. Although work on EI is open to various criticism, the field may still possess a sufficient groundswell of scientific support to constitute a legitimate branch of psychological science. Finally, a paper that kind of makes sense. This paper aims at providing a snapshot of the state of the art in this newly minted construct. Specifically, in separate sections of this article, we set out to distinguish what is known from what is unknown in relation to the three paramount concerns of EI research: conceptualization, assessment, and application. Yeah, in each section, we start by discussing assertions that may be made with some degree of confidence, elucidating what are essentially sources of consensus concerning EI. We move then to discuss sources of controversy, those things for which there is less agreement among EI researchers. We hope that this straight talk about the current status of EI research will help the reader disentangle rhetoric from reality and fiction from fact in contemporary EI research. This paper feels good. Okay. Conceptualization of EI. Despite nearly 2 decades of research, there appears little consensus over how EI should be defined and conceptualized. What's this? Multiple conceptualization of EI. Mm-hmm. This paper is good. Okay. Thus, it is presently unclear whether EI is cognitive or non-cognitive, whether it refers to explicit or implicit knowledge of emotion, and whether it refers to a basic aptitude or to some adaptation to a specific social and cultural milieu. I don't know how to say it. MILIEU. Arguably, one of the primary initial tasks in any scientific endeavor is systematic mapping of the major components and facets in the universe of discourse under consideration. However, it is difficult to obtain a satisfactory justification or definitional framework for the construct of EI. In fact, most researchers would likely agree that popular definitions are too over-inclusive to be useful. Defining EI as a laundry list of virtually every positive quality of character except for cognitive intelligence also accomplishes little. Although research definitions are not immune to over-inclusiveness, the majority of attempts to operationalize the I have tried to start from some conceptual analysis of the construct. The four-branch model of Meyer is the best known and most influential conceptualization of this kind. It has inspired not just the ability tests for which Meyer are renowned, but questionnaire measures as well. Meyer divide ability models, which view EI as a standard intelligence, from mixed models that define EI more broadly as a package of personal qualities, including both abilities and personality traits that facilitate expression of EI. Further conceptualization, trait EI embeds EI exclusively within the personality domain and thus separates EI rather sharply from abilities as normally defined. It is certainly legitimate to study stable perceptions of emotional functioning as an aspect of personality, but the label trait EI may be misleading, given its connotation of ability. Next, we discuss some sources of consensus, followed by sources of controversy. I think my mouth is fire, girl. Like, I don't think I've talked this much for so long. Like, I think my tongue is broken. And, like, if I talk too much for too long, my nose does this thing where it just kind of, like, I don't know how to say it, like, flams up. And, like, it gets harder to talk. So, okay. Emotional intelligence is a multifaceted construct that may best be studied from multiple perspectives. A variety of different conceptions and definitions of EI have been proposed, each leading to a different operational measures of the construct. The very psychometrically adequate scales for EI appear to be measuring several different constructs. Am I even still? Uh-huh. Mm-mm. Okay. A variety of different conceptions and definitions of EI have been proposed, each leading to different operational measures of the construct. The various psychometrically adequate scales for EI appear to be measuring several different constructs. This assertion is supported most clearly by the weakness of correlations between objective tests and questionnaires based on self-report, but other instances may be found. For example, Austin studied chronometric measures that, by analogy with cognitive research, really correlate with scores on EI tests. Although a distinct emotional information processing factor was identified, it failed to correlate significantly with overall EI scores from two leading assessments. There's probably consensus that trait EI may be studied separately from ability-based EI. However, it remains unclear if there is a single overarching general trait EI dimension, or if the various questionnaires may be picking up multiple largely independent traits. Some questionnaires do exhibit a strong general factor, whereas others do not. Ted, Fox, and Wang extracted 3 independent factors from their questionnaire, which they label as self-orientation, other orientation, and emotional sharing. As they point out, the first 2 factors correspond to Gartner's Intra and interpersonal intelligence conceive as separate personal intelligence. By contrast, the Mayer model does not sharply separate emotion regulation in self and others. Thus, although it is agreed that the I may encompass multiple domains, it remains unclear how many separate domains should be discriminated and whether general factors may be identified within each domain. Elsewhere, we have tentatively distinguished at least four largely separate domains. Okay, the big issue. A major EI overlaps with other psychological constructs. You know what, you guys? I think I'm just gonna read this on my own, but I'll finish after this subsection. A major issue is how EI should be aligned with other dimensions of ability and personality. The degree of overlap of EI with other constructs appear to be measure dependent, with multiple EI constructs appearing to relate differently to other factors. For example, objective measures of EI, such as the multi-factor emotional intelligence scale and Myers-Hellwig-Caruso emotional intelligence tests, in keeping with an ability model, correlate between point 0.3 and point 0.4 with general intelligence, and rather less with personality traits. Perhaps one might envisage including an EI ability factor inside the multi-strata model for ability advanced by Carroll. By contrast, questionnaire measures for EI overlap with standard personality traits to a degree that is often excessive. The most egregious example is Bar-On's an emotional quotient inventory, which correlates around point 0.8 with low trait anxiety and general psychopathology. Most of its reliable variants may be attributed to the five-factor model of personality. Similarly, Patritz and Fernham reported that their trait EI questionnaire correlated at negative point 0.7 with neuroticism and 0.68 with extroversion. Other questionnaires appear to possess more unique variants, but still show substantial intercorrelation with personality, raising the thus far unanswered question of how personality and EI traits should be interrelated within a common structural model. Sources of controversy. I'm so tired. Are researchers who investigate emotional intelligence on the right track or following blind alleys? Various commentators have questioned the value of focusing on resolving the conceptual status of EI. Brody challenges psychometric status and predicts validity. By contrast, Landy claims that much of the applied work fails to meet elementary scientific standards, such as availability of data to other researchers. Even if it is accepted that empirical studies are rigorous, the suspicion may be that the phenomena observed lacked ecological validity and are of little relevance to real life emotional functioning. Okay.